Retribution!
Welcome back to The Last One. Today we aren't just playing Lords of the Fallen, we're tearing it apart. We've fought through the filth of Mournstead, faced the Hallowed Sentinels, and now it's time to decide the fate of the world. In this video, we break down the most brutal action, the fastest boss kills, and every cinematic ending, from the Path of Radiance to the Umbral Void. Whether you serve the light or the shadow, one thing is certain, only one gets to walk away. When the lights go out and the gods fall, only one remains to tell the tale. Welcome back to The Last One. Today we witness the end of Mournstead. They told you this was a crusade. They lied. It's a slaughterhouse. You aren't here to save Mournstead. You're here to survive it. One life, one lamp, no mercy. You're watching The Last One. Strap in. We're going to hell. You want power? Take it. You want glory? Bleed for it. In this world, the only law is the blade. Look at you. Another moth drawn to a dying flame. The Dark Crusaders sent 1,000 before you, and the mud of Mournstead swallowed them all. But the lamp has a cruel sense of irony. It chose you. You now walk the thin edge of a blade between the world that breathes and the world that hungers. Rise, lamp-bearer. Take up your burden, seek the beacons, defy the gods, and try, just try, not to go mad before the end. In December 2014, Thomas Gopp, the executive producer of Lords of the Fallen, 2014, confirmed the development of a sequel, Lords of the Fallen 2. In May 2015, CI Games announced that the game would be released in 2017, and confirmed that Deck 13 Interactive, the lead developer of the first game, would not be involved. Gopp revealed in 2017 that the game spent 2 years on concept stage, and that CI Games has significantly downsized the development team and reduced the scope of the game following the disappointing release of Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. CI Games announced that Defiant Studios will lead the game's development in 2018, and that they would restart the game's development from scratch. However, CI Games terminated its contract with Defiant 1 year later, as it deemed their works on the game inadequate. CI Games then founded Hexworks in 2020, led by Saul Gascon, executive producer, and Cesar Virtuoso, creative director, to work on the game. Lords of the Fallen was developed using Unreal Engine 5. The game cost $66.2 million to develop, market, and produce the physical edition. The game was officially revealed by CI Games during Gamescom 2022 as The Lords of the Fallen. It was then rebranded as simply Lords of the Fallen in March 2023. Virtuoso revealed that the game was once named Lords of the Fallen, The Dark Crusade, though the studio dropped this name for not reflecting the game's status as a reboot of the series. Hexworks had high ambitions for the game, with Virtuoso adding that the studio set out to be the second reference, after From Software, for the Soulsborne genre by making Dark Souls 4.5. It was released for PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X and S on 13 October 2023. A major set of patches was released to the base game in April 2025, called Version 2. It included improved cooperative play, quality of life improvements to reduce difficulty, a new character creator, redone audio cues, and more tutorial and guidance features for new or lost players. After eons under the rule of Adyr, dark god of the demonic Rogar, the followers of Aureus, the Radiance god, rose against him. Unable to kill him, they sealed him away. One of Aureus's finest warriors, Judge Cleric, established the Order of the Hallowed Sentinels to watch over 5 magic beacons in the land of Mournstead to prevent Adyr from reviving. Over the ages, however, the once righteous sentinels become corrupted and tyrannical themselves. Over 1,000 years after Adyr's defeat, his return looms nearer as the beacons become tainted by his influence, and the Rogar begin to infest the land. A sect of the Sentinels, the Dark Crusaders, acquires a powerful artifact to prevent this, the Umbral Lamp, which has the power to resurrect its user, allow them to travel between the realms of the living, Axiom, and the dead, Umbral, pull the souls out of enemies, and activate stigmas, fragments of past events. However, when its previous bearer is killed, it comes into the possession of the main character, the Lamp Bearer. Executor Dunmire, head of the Crusaders, recruits them to travel across Mournstead and cleanse the beacons with the lamp, using it to absorb Adyr's essence at each one. Each beacon is guarded by formidable enemies. Each must be defeated to progress to the respective beacon. But the bearer does not need to immediately interact with them. The wide world is fraught with dangerous animals, monsters, demons, cults, and even the corrupted forces of the Sentinels. Enemies and allies can be made throughout the journey, with some of the latter potentially turning against the bearer. The beacon in the Empyrean, the Sentinels' headquarters, is guarded by none other than Judge Cleric herself. Partway through the battle, she is revealed to be entirely corrupted, just like the rest of the Order. Once known as Isel, she had been a warrior priestess of Adyr, before betraying him to side with Aureus. There are 3 endings one can achieve depending on choices made throughout the game. Radiant. If the bearer has used the lamp to cleanse at least one of the beacons, they can storm Bramis Castle and enter the Rogar realm and face Adyr. The Dark God attempts to reason that humanity needs a god to guide them. However, unlike Aureus and the Sentinels, he at least offers humanity a choice and the truth. Nevertheless, the bearer subdues Adyr and uses the lamp to absorb his essence. They are themselves obliterated in the process, while Aureus rains beams of radiance to purge all who have transgressed in his eyes, with no sin going unpunished. Inferno. Instead of cleansing the beacons, the bearer can use an item called the Rune of Adyr to break them. After defeating Cleric, the bearer can enter her dream as a cell and allow Adyr to possess her body, granting him a vessel and vengeance on her for betraying him. Ruling the world once more, the Dark God makes the bearer one of his Rogar lords. Umbral. Rather than side with either god, the bearer can enter Umbral and locate a dark priest named Molhu, who created the lamp, and gain access to a strange area called Mother's Lull. From there, the bearer sacrifices a number of important persons to meet the putrid mother, an unspeaking, godlike eldritch being. The creature devours the bearer's essence, using it to shatter the veil between Axiom and Umbral, so it can eventually consume all of creation, sparing nothing. Lords of the Fallen is an action role-playing video game played from a third-person perspective. Like its predecessor, players can use both melee weapons and magic to defeat enemies, and the gameplay adapts elements from Soulsborne games. The game's campaign can also be completed cooperatively with another player. The game also features a player-versus-player multiplayer mode. At the beginning of the game, players can create and customize their own player avatar, and choose from one of 9 character classes. The game is set in an interconnected world, one that is several times bigger than that from the 2014 game. In this game, 2 worlds are layered on top of each other. The world of Axiom is the realm of the living, but players can use a magical lantern to access Umbral, the realm of the dead. Despite sharing the same physical space, an inaccessible area in one realm may be reached by visiting the other realm. When the player is killed, they will be transported to Umbral until they can return to Axiom. When the player is killed in the Umbral realm, they will respawn in Axiom at their last save point and lose their unspent experience points, called Vigor in the game, which they can reclaim by returning to the location of their death. Save points are far and few in each region, though players can craft their own save points using materials collected from Umbral monsters. Lords of the Fallen received generally favorable reviews for the PC version from critics, while the PS5 version received mixed or average reviews, according to review aggregator website Metacritic. In Japan, 4 critics from Famitsu gave the game a total score of 32 out of 40. The game's radar reviewer does not see any relatable characters to latch onto in the game, and the game's world seems for him to be stuck somewhere between Blasphemous and all the Black Mana cards from Magic the Gathering. He writes the game's greatest strength is probably combat, and that it is a nice feel to hit a blow. The reviewer describes the system of 2 worlds as clever stuff that's implemented well. As far as performance is concerned, the reviewer wrote that even on a robust desktop, he was forced to turn down the graphics fairly significantly. He sums up that the game's clear aspirations to be Dark Souls 4 might have been a little ambitious. GameStar's reviewer, on the other hand, feels that the possibility of opening a window to the world of the dead alone makes a harmonious world design. PC Gamer's reviewer also likes the idea of the lamp used to cross between two worlds, even though he feels that Hexworks could have done more with the concept. He also writes that using the lamp didn't give performance problems, and the game generally ran smoothly. He likes different effects of using different weapons. According to the PC Gamer's reviewer, the magic system in the game is a genuine improvement over other Souls-likes in almost every way. The reviewer claims the combat system shines in the game's duels against humanoid bosses. He considers fights with the bosses to be fair, but the rest of the game to be too difficult. By January 2025, the game had been played by over 4 million players. Today we're tearing through the dark heart of Mournstead to witness the final breath of a dying world. Whether you're a martyr for the radiant light, a herald of Adyr's infernal fire, or a shadow lost to the umbral silence, the choice is yours, but the blood is on my hands. We've fought, we've bled, and we've conquered every boss that dared to stand in our way. Now strap in as we reveal all 3 cinematic endings in high-octane action mode. If you're ready to claim your throne and survive the cycle, smash that subscribe button and join the ranks. This is the end, and I am the last one.